Well, now you can't, even if you wanted to.
No.
Okay. Yeah, sorry I was a little late.
No, you're fine.
I had taking the dog out, putting clothes away and stuff. Somehow I always end up with. I think it's because I relax a little too much in the evening time. So when it comes to be nighttime, I end up with all these things I got to do.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say I'd take the dog out, put some clothes on.
Well, I had to do that too. I did. I put this shirt on. Have you seen this one yet?
I like it.
It's the Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
but I've had this one for a long
No,
time,
stop.
but I didn't know if you'd seen it. Message. Did you just zip your pants up?
Huh? Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think I got everything squared away here.
All right.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. There's something in the room. Had to get rid of that. It's going to weigh us down. Okay. I'm ready to bring us in.
All right. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Just going to talk a little King's Quest 5 on the Two Dudes in an S podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just get this out of the way off the bat. Thank you, Tyler, for your donation to our Patreon. And this game is for you. However, two things. One, no offense to Tyler, but I'm a little worried about whether or not he's going to remain a listener or a donor after we do this episode. And two, I did honestly play this game a lot more than I normally do because I felt so bad. I was sitting here, I was taking. This is a little bit spoilers for later in the episode, but I was taking notes. I was playing the game, and I looked at my notes. I was like, I have no notes. I got nothing to say about this game, so I kept playing it, and I kept playing. I was like trying to get more notes, and I think I ended up with less notes. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, better not say that. Okay.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say that Carl pulled a Carl and had a baby.
Is that the new pulling a Carl?
What if he?
This is not a poop baby either, people. This is a real baby.
Yeah. Wait. What if while his wife was in labor, he pulled a Carl?
That's the ultimate pulling a Carl right there.
I'm gonna say he probably did.
He probably did.
It's like, I gotta go.
Hey, can you wait just a second? Don't have the baby just quite yet. I got to run to the bathroom.
Pulling a Carl.
Pulling the Carl.
Yeah.
No, but yes, congratulations to Carl. He doesn't listen to the show, but congratulations to him anyways.
I feel like he's such a piece of this podcast that
I feel like us congratulating Carl on this show that he will never hear actually might mean something to some of the listeners out there. So
that's what I'm saying. He's such a integral part of the show that thought I should bring that out.
Yeah. Now, I noticed the people who watch the behind the scenes will get to see this, but I know you're wearing orange, and we've done a really good job of not talking about our UT Vols all season on this show. I know last couple seasons we spent some time on our actual episodes talking about the UT Vols, because for any new listeners out there, we're both alumni and pretty big Vols fans. And nobody likes football usually that listens to these type of podcasts, but I digress. I feel like we need to say at least a couple words about the state of the union. We need to have a State of the Union address for the.
I think Butch Jones' era is over. I mean, everybody's like, well, he could go 8-4. He could go 8-4. But look, are we really going to judge his success on beating Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Southern Miss, all these teams that we have left? I mean, what does it really matter if he beats those teams?
It doesn't matter much to me.
he's supposed to beat those teams every year, so it doesn't matter. You can go 8-4, and that's fine. But the year is still a failure because you haven't beaten any of your best competition or your rivals. And our friend Grant, he's never been on this show, has he? He was on Retro Talk.
He was on Retro Thought Pod. He's never been on the show.
But he brought up a good point on Facebook. He's like, you can't really call yourself an elite team when you haven't beat your rival in 10 years.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, so, I understand it's expensive. It's going to be at least $12 million of a buyout to get rid of the guys that you got now. And, that's Butch Jones plus all the assistants.
Well, I'll quote Dynasty, the old TV show from the 80s here. It's just $1 million spit in the ocean. It's actually $12 million spit in the ocean.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. I don't know. You can figure it out. I'm just quoting the show.
And then you're going to have to spend, if you look at any of these teams that have brought coaches in that have changed the program, and I'm going to give James Franklin, who went from Vanderbilt to Penn State. Penn State's number 2 in the country now. They were obviously in bad shape when he came in. And he's brought them, all the way back. But he's, they pay him $9 million a year. Yeah, it's close to Nick Saban's salary, who's making $11. I mean, when you're talking that much, you're going to have to spend that much money probably to bring somebody in that is going to bring us up to that next level. So you're saying $12 million buyout plus year one, you're going to have to spend probably $8 to $12 million. So one thing about Butch Jones, you say what you want, but we got him on a Dollar Tree salary as far as coaching staffs go, because he makes like $4.5 million a year, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but compared to some of the other big names,
okay. So what I'm hearing is we need more Patreon donors for the Two Dudes in this podcast to help us fund our coaches here at Tennessee, and for them, we will probably move on from football because I'm sure nobody wants to hear this.
Yeah, I mean it's really, I thought, honestly, because this is Sunday night after the Alabama game, and I thought he would have already been fired by now. To be honest. Yeah. I really did, because I thought, of course, my argument was probably should have been gone after the Georgia game, because at that point, well, maybe I could say let him try to beat South Carolina, which he didn't. But did you really think that we had any chance to win this game at all against Alabama? Well, I don't think anybody did. So.
No. So anyways, to catch everybody up, Tennessee is a colossal failure and has been for many, many years. Butch Jones had his chance. He's our current coach. He at least got us out of a pretty bad hole and got us in a better position, but he's not the guy going forward, we don't think. And we appreciate everybody listening to us vent for the first 10 minutes of our podcast.
One more thing, though. Here's the problem.
Justin's going to keep going.
Here's the problem. Is he's gotten worse. It's like year 5 is worse. Like, we weren't this bad the previous 2 years.
No,
like,
we
didn't
look
lucky. This bad. Huh?
We probably just got lucky too much. There was a lot of luck that happened last year in particular.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm done.
Okay, all right. I got plenty more tangents, don't worry, for the rest of this episode. And Tyler, I'm so sorry. But for now, how about we talk a little King's Quest V? You got some history for us?
All right, King's Quest V. So yeah, King's Quest V history. The tagline. I love the tagline. Absence makes the heart go yonder.
Makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense. But here's the thing. King's Quest games, they tend to just always have a tagline that's kind of like an old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and this one's, absence, blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, King's Quest 3 was to hair is human, not to heir is human, to hair, like hair of the throne or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they always had a tagline to their games, which was, I thought was pretty neat. I thought that's pretty It's cute.
Yeah, I
It's
got
cute.
you. It's good.
I like it. I like it. But anyway, King's Quest was a game line that was brought out by Sierra Online. And you want to hear something else that's pretty cute?
Sure.
Sierra Entertainment was founded and ran by
A baby.
husband and wife, Ken and Roberta Williams.
Oh, how sweet.
And they developed games together. And one of those games that they developed together was King's Quest V.
That's adorable.
Ken Williams was the producer, and Roberta Williams was the designer. Also, what Ken and Roberta like to do in their spare time is they like to sail.
Hey, all right.
Sailing takes me away.
Nobody wants to hear us do that.
No.
Hey, did I ever tell you? Sorry, tangent already. But did I ever tell you about the time that I went over Crabman? It was like Halloween from a lot of years ago. Remember that song that came out? It was like Sail, but it was like the guy with he was like
Yes.
yell Sail, and then like
AWOL Nation.
yeah, that's it. It's like electronic song. Well, anyways, I had not heard it. Josh was trying to introduce me to that song. He was saying, "Hey, have you heard that song Sail?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I've heard that one. It's like sailing takes me away." He's like, No, that's not it." He said, "I'll play it for you a little bit later," because this was like a Halloween party. He didn't want to interrupt the party to play it for me. But as the night got on, and it's a Halloween party, and there's may have been a few things going around to make people looser, it just got worse and worse. He would want to play it, and then it would be like I would get Slapper Bags in on it with me, and we'd both be singing this Christopher Cross song to him, and he got so frustrated.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm not sure if we ever actually let him play us that Sail song that night, because I think every time, and I think I even like went and got my iPad, or not my iPad, my iPod, and like plugged it up to his stereo and actually played the Christopher Cross song.
Oh man,
that's
that's great. I love that Christopher Cross song.
It is actually a really good song. It's one of those guilty pleasure songs for sure.
Yeah. But anyway,
Sorry.
it's not for to never land. At least it's not for me.
Do you think we get in trouble if I just like put that song right here for everybody to listen to?
And if the wind is right, you can sail away. So, do you watch the show Last Man on Earth?
No.
You should, okay? Because it really has like our sense of humor, like that stupid, really stupid sense of humor. And it's one of those shows that like it's funny at first, but as the seasons progress, it just gets hilarious, like even more funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's on season 3 right now, and it's just hilarious. But they like the latest episodes, they've like been singing that song. It's pretty funny. But anyway,
that sounds like the show for me for sure.
Yeah, it's great. I would suggest watching it. But anyway, back to King's Quest. So King's Quest was a DOS game. All the original King's Quest were games for the PC. And Sierra Online, they actually had created video games in the past, cartridge games, but they stopped in 1983. So this release that came out in June of 92 was their first cartridge game to come out. So it was actually a little bit later than the PC version of King's Quest V came out, which was in 1990. But anyway, so there was obviously differences between the PC version and the NES version. A lot of things had to be taken out, because Nintendo, of course, had its video game guidelines. And so a lot of it had to do with death. One example is Graham's water drinking scene in the desert, where the narrator's words say, "Ah, life-giving water, nectar of the gods. Graham can now feel strength and renewal flowing through him." That's what they said in the PC version. But in the NES version, it says, "Ah, cool water felt wonderful on Graham's parched lips, and his body now feels rejuvenated." This was because they thought that the original version, since he says nectar of the gods,
Mm-hmm.
was edited due to religious themes.
Yeah, Nintendo's real strict on the religious stuff.
Yeah. And like later in the game, Cedric is turned to stone rather than Mordok actually killing him, which is what happens at the PC version. Poor Cedric.
I
But
know.
anyway,
I like Sid. He's like probably my favorite character in the game.
yeah, he's easily my favorite. Um, but anyway, one of the most important things about this game is who released it for the NES, and that was Konami.
I know. Shocker, right?
Right. So this doesn't really feel like a whole lot of Konami games in the past, but that we talked about. But there it is.
It was just was it just published by Konami though, right? It was still was it still developed by?
It was still developed by Sierra, just published by Konami. That's it.
Actually, I think it was. Hold on, I'm gonna pull a Wikipedia on you. Looks like it was developed by Novo Trade. I don't know who that is, but
Oh,
I may be wrong too. But that's what the internet's telling me.
I did not come across that, but I'm not going to deny it.
But bottom line is, Konami published it.
Yeah, Konami.
So I don't know. Did Nintendo? They still had their 5-game rule back. I mean, at this point in the lifespan of the NES, right? So
Yeah,
Konami. I don't want to say they wasted it, but they actually used one of their publishing rights for a game that they didn't make. Right?
Which just really felt like this was a good game.
Yeah, maybe.
So, or maybe it was a lean year for Konami, and they were just like, we'll because this is also late in the cycle of the NES.
Yeah.
Like by the time this is out, Super Nintendo's already out, and that leads me to one of the things that I was going to bring up is that the Nintendo Power, where this game is discussed in, the cover is actually Street Fighter II Turbo for Super Nintendo.
Nice.
You got to think this is definitely late in the cycle because we're talking about it in a Nintendo Power magazine where we're talking about the second Street Fighter for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
So
I don't think the first one came out for the Super Nintendo, to my knowledge. So it would have been the first Super Nintendo release of Street Fighter. But regardless, yes, we're talking about Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, one of the best games of all time on the Super NES at this point. So it has got to be late in the NES cycle.
Yeah. So which is interesting, it wasn't talked about in Nintendo Power until August of 1993, even though it was released in June of 1992. And Nintendo Power actually alluded to this in the article they wrote, where they said King's Quest V was released in June of 1992 because so many NES games came out that month. We passed on covering it then. And they, of course, they covered it this. But I think that was kind of a cop-out by Nintendo, to be honest with you. Because I looked back, I looked back at the Nintendo Power from June of 1992, and there wasn't a whole lot of NES games that they were talking about in that episode. So I think they just either skipped over it, or thought maybe somebody played it later on and decided, hey, we need to go back and look at this game or something. But,
okay, well, I got a theory. I think that they probably had early release game, and when they're playing it, they have to figure out how to do everything. Mm-hmm. I think they just want to wait a little while, let somebody else figure out how to do all the stuff, and then just play it after they could just do, it's much easier that way. That's the way we play games. At least that's the way I play games these days.
Yeah. So just to give you an example, so this is the Nintendo Power from June of 92. Lemmings was on the cover. They talked about Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Strike for NES. And they were talking about Super Nintendo games, but really, as far as NES games, they talked about Baseball Stars 2 and Lemmings. So I think that was a bit of a cop-out to say, hey,
yeah, it might have been.
There were so many games that came out that month. So we're on to you, Nintendo, for Nintendo Power.
You can't pull one over on us.
Just a tidbit.
30 years later, or however long it's been.
Just a tidbit. the other NES game they talked about in the August 1993 Nintendo Power game for NES was Jurassic Park.
Also, one that I've never played.
Yeah.
I hadn't played this one prior to the show, and I have not played Jurassic Park for the NES actually. So
Now, if you could pull this out, you win $1 million.
whoa, okay, really?
Yeah, Super Nintendo. So obviously, when like Nintendo Power always did their top 20 games for NES, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo at this time.
Mm-hmm.
If you can tell me the number one game for the Super NES, and I'll tell you, it was actually a famous franchise for Nintendo.
Ooh.
Can you tell me what was the number
This
one?
is August of 93,
August of 93.
and this is the number one Super Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm. I can see his hand, so he's not Googling it.
Yeah, not Googling right here. I'm going to say F-Zero.
No. It's number one was Star Fox.
Ah, Star Fox.
So,
Blast.
yeah.
There
The
goes
number
my
one-
$1 million. Another $1 million spit in the ocean.
See if you can redeem yourself.
Okay.
What was the number one NES game that month?
Is this August 93?
Also famous Nintendo brand.
Is it Mario?
Huh?
3?
Yeah, you got it. Super Mario Bros. 3 is number one. Legend of Zelda was number two.
Wow. All right.
Anyway, that's enough for history.
Yeah.
So, so obviously you just said you had never played this game. So did you go on a quest to find this game?
I did not go on a big giant quest to find this game. And I always hate admitting this, but I demo mode this one. I did the demo on this one.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Sorry, Tyler. I played the demo. I always feel terrible when I do that because there's so many good podcasts out there. There's so many good YouTube shows where people have an entire collection of games where they have every single game in the library, or they'll buy it for the purposes of their show. And I usually do that, but every now and then I don't feel motivated.
Yeah, and we'll get to this later. But this isn't one of the cheapest that you
Right.
would come across. So, like I said, we'll get to that later. But
No, I did not go on a quest. I took the cheap way out.
Yeah, that's okay. You can't be perfect,
Yeah, but I can try.
right?
Just not tonight.
Yeah.
So, all right then. So I had never played it prior to doing this show. Had you ever played it prior to doing the show?
No, I'm not.
Had you ever played any King's Quest games?
Never played a King's Quest at all.
Okay, so I had played King's Quest. It was, I don't know how I came across it, but it was on a computer that Dad brought home one time. He brought home a computer and had a bunch of discs. They were, I don't remember if they were floppy discs or if they were the little 3.5 inch
Right.
hard ones. I don't remember, but I remember there was a King's Quest game on. I was like, oh, this is cool. So I put it in. I'm pretty sure it was on DOS that you had to play it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't remember which King's Quest it was. I think it was like 3 maybe. It was before this one because it did not look as good as this one. Because we'll talk about that here in just a second. NES versus the original computer version, but the computer version of King's Quest V looks really good.
Yeah.
And my computer version of King's Quest V did not look very good. So it had to have been like 3 or below, I imagine.
Well, if it was 3, that'd be almost poetic because 3 was kind of the prequel to this game.
Really? I have a feeling it was 3. I feel
So-
like it was 3.
So just to kind of fill you in on that story, I came across that as I was reading about the history. So in this game, obviously Mordak, the evil wizard, comes in, steals the castle, right?
Right.
And King Graham, he's out wandering around, and he comes back and it's gone.
Yeah, what was he doing exactly? Is it King's Quest 3? Is that what he was doing?
No, because what it was. So there was kind of this question: was why did Mordak just take this guy's castle? Well, if you notice in the game, Mordak keeps saying that he's going to feed the family to the cat, Mananan. Mananan, right? Well, Mananan was a wizard. And Graham's son, Prince Alexander, turned Mananan into a cat.
Oh.
So, and in this game, he says he's not going to give the castle back until he restores Mananan, Jack Bandit, back to his true form. So so 3 and 5 are connected. I don't know what 4 is about, but.
Okay, so. So do you play as Graham's son in 3?
I'm assuming, but I
feel like I played as Graham in the game. We don't need to spend all this time figuring out what game I played back in '91 on an old DOS computer. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Your dad probably got because they were throwing it away. At a school or something.
At a school, yeah, they were probably throwing it away at a school and you brought it home. So
and
regardless,
found out there was a game on it and threw it away.
Yeah. Instead of, he thought I was going to be doing math or something on it. He found out I was playing King's Quest and just threw everything away. Anyways, let's bring it on back. Let's bring it back to King's Quest 5 with the manual.
Yes.
Now, I could not find, obviously I couldn't find a physical manual, but I also could not find a PDF manual. But I did find where somebody typed out the manual onto like a Wikipedia page. So that's what we're going with tonight.
Okay.
So that's all I got. I tried.
I've got the PDF manual.
Where did you find it? I will turn it over to you then, sir.
Not to be a one-upper.
I'll just follow along. You go ahead. You got this.
Can I screen share? I guess I don't need to screen share this. So
I'll hold up mine like a loser.
So you got the Konami. Hold on a second. I gotta try to figure this out. Maybe not.
Good pod.
Great pod. Let's see.
I just want to say, you may have one-upped me by finding the PDF manual, but I'm way better at this than you, obviously.
Right, sure. Now, can you see the PDF manual now?
Yeah, I see it. Wow, it looks great.
Yeah. So we got Konami, limited warranty, blah, 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 right? Then we got, congratulations. You are now the proud owner of King's Quest V from Konami. This is the official Nintendo Entertainment System adaptation of the award-winning computer game by Roberta Williams. Yeah, Ken doesn't even get mentioned there, huh? See how that is.
The better question here now is, are they still married?
They are still married.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So he don't need any accolades.
Right. Before you sidle off to Serenia and search for Mordak, please read this manual thoroughly.
This story is so long.
It's a very long story, so I'm not gonna. The quest thus far.
Can you give me the Cliff Notes version?
I can't because I haven't read it before. But
okay, I'll do what they always taught me in speed reading class. Okay, I'm going to read the story. I'm going to read the story for us, but I'm going to do it speed reading style. You ready?
Yes.
And that doesn't mean I'm going to read it fast. It just means I'm going to read the first and last sentence of every paragraph.
All right.
I think we'll be okay. Long ago, in the kingdom of Daventry, there were 3 magical treasures that kept the kingdom strong and prosperous. Daventry... Whoa. No, this isn't going to work. Sorry. Good pod. Yeah, because now it makes no sense. So I guess, never mind. The story is the wizard man comes and steals the castle, and you're trying to get it back. And in order to get it back, you got to find all these magical items.
Right. And then you got how to play, and then you got My Kingdom for an icon bar. It shows you what each icon does. You can talk, which talk is just lips. And for some reason, when I first saw it, I thought it was kiss.
You just walked around trying to kiss everybody.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's stop here because this is one of my complaints about the game.
Okay.
I'm going to say one of my few complaints because I don't want to make anybody mad. So, the King's Quest game that I played when I was a kid, and most all by the maybe I'm going. This is terrible. I'm all over the place, but I do need to say this first. This is the type of game this is. In case the people listening don't know, this is basically a point and click adventure, kind of like in the vein of Maniac Mansion or Monkey Island or something like that. Okay, so it's point and click adventure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the King's Quest that I played when I was younger was just like those point and click adventures where it had text to tell you what each thing was. So you click talk, it was the word talk, and you click open, and it was the word open. So you'd click it, and then you click on what you want to open, right?
Right.
Well, this game tried to, I guess, streamline that maybe by giving you symbols without words.
Yeah.
And so I spent I guess eventually you get used to what those symbols are. I did, but I just spent the first, maybe it's because I didn't look at the manual too, but I spent the first, 10, 15, 20 minutes learning what all these things were, and so I don't know. And they're not super intuitive. Like I had no idea there's one that's walk and one that's quick travel.
Right.
But I don't. It didn't make a whole lot of sense to me in the game. I don't know. I didn't like. I would much prefer, and maybe this is a personal preference, but I would much prefer words for what I'm doing.
Walk and quick travel, are somewhat silly because walk. It's like if there's something in between Graham and where you wanted to go, you have to.
You run into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But quick travel, he'll just avoid it. So why don't we just have quick travel?
Yeah, why isn't everything quick travel? Although, one of the nice things about this game, I will say, is that the D-pad controls your guy. Like when you want to walk somewhere, you just walk him like you're playing a regular game.
Right.
That's a nice touch because a lot of times you would have to use the D-pad to move the arrow to select something and then make him walk by moving the arrow around the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, you point him where you want him to walk, and he walks there.
Right.
So using the D-pad, I did like that quite a bit. That was a nice touch.
Right. So let's see what else we got here. Action, which is just a hand.
I thought that was slap.
So we're just walking around kissing and slapping people.
Yeah, that's right, like a real man.
Right. I got two things. This is all right. It tells you about the world of Serenia.
Mm-hmm. Now, this game does have a really deep, detailed story. It's you have to kind of be into this, fantasy type of story. I mean, this is like knights. Sir Graham, who you playing as like the king's best knight, and it's it's a very much fantasy story. So you have to like fantasy stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well,
wizards, wizards and talking owls, which I'm a little bit into talking owls. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, sure, because owls are like, if you can envision any animal talking, I think it'd be an owl.
Yeah.
Like, I can't envision any other animal talking better than an owl.
I feel like my dog talks pretty good.
Yeah. Dogs do kind of look at you. Like, they got that look, Like
yeah.
they're trying
I don't think she'd be able to speak words like an owl can, but
right.
she talks.
Yeah. At least an owl would be able to be nuanced. Dogs would just be like, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah. It is funny because like a dog, the dog will be like laying there on the couch or something, and it'll look back at you and just kind of stare at you for a moment, and you're thinking, I wonder what they're thinking, but really they're probably just thinking, I'm so glad you're sitting here with me.
I'm so glad you're not out doing something. You're home. That reminds.
The cats are the same way, but in the opposite. They'll look at you and they're like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah. Oh, you're still here. Well, Adam Carolla, he did this one where he was like comparing dogs and having dogs and cats to like roommates. He's like, what? He's like, so if it's like cats, like would be like having a roommate that, didn't really like ever talk to you, and didn't really care if you were there or not. But they were tidy. They kind of kept to themselves and kept things clean. He's like, a dog would be like having a roommate that was like really into you and like always telling you that you look like you've lost weight and he like loves to hang out with you, but then you got to clean up after him all the time because you slob.
Yeah.
So no. All right. So questing for quest questions, a guide for the beginning adventure game player. I like this section just because of the title, questing for quest questions.
This is a good section, though, too, just for somebody who has never played this kind of game before.
Yeah.
Because this is very helpful this is a pretty detailed section telling you, like, kind of why would you want to look at something, or what does the talk function really do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, let's say you receive a message that says, you find a statue of a golden yak. So
that's actually in the manual.
I know.
That I love it. People now. I'm talking to the people now.
I know. Or, for example, after battling all of the hideous otter-headed jungle beasties. Mm-hmm. I feel like beast loses its teeth if it's beastie.
Yeah.
If somebody's a beast, that's one thing. But if he's beastie.
Yeah.
Throw that E in there and just
what you're saying.
Makes them more cute.
Kind of sissies it up a little bit.
Yeah, right. So, what do I do when I get stuck? And they say we recommend throwing your arms up in despair, and going outside to play in the fresh air. But if you really want to stick with it, then just try lots of new combinations. Yeah. So one thing that brings up another point that was apparently a difference between the PC version and the NES version, which the NES version was like really got it to where I would like games to be. Apparently in King's Quest V for the PC, there were like combinations if you did things a certain way that it just made the game unbeatable, and you just like kept playing. Yeah. It's pointless. Like nothing. Right. You couldn't beat the game because of something you did. But it didn't tell you that was the deal, so it just let you keep like playing the game and not knowing. But the NES game version does not.
They fixed a lot of that stuff.
They didn't let you do that.
Now this game does, however, and this is another one of my gripes. This game does have lots of death.
Yes,
you can lose this game. Now it's funny, the games like Maniac Mansion and stuff. They take a different approach where they don't really let you die and lose. You just have to keep trying to figure it out. And it's funny, I don't know if anybody out there has played, it's on the Nintendo Switch, but it's a game called Thimbleweed Park. It's like a new version of Maniac Mansion, made by the same people, Ron Gilbert and crew. Yeah. But in that game, I forget where it is. It's like in one of the menus or something. It's talking about the difficulty of the game or something, and they were like, the developers of this game feel that you should not have to worry about dying. This is not a game where you can lose. You just have to figure it. It's just funny. They're like, some games will make you lose. It's almost like I was playing King's Quest alongside Thimbleweed Park for the Switch, and the whole time I was thinking it's almost like they're taking a jab at the King's Quest people for causing a lose state. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in this game's defense, and we may talk about it here in a minute, I did die a lot, but those were some of my favorite parts of the game because this game is hilarious when it comes to the number of ways you can die and the things that it says to you when you die.
And there's whole YouTube videos just dedicated
that would be good. I have not watched these. I need to watch this because every death that I had was just hilarious.
Well, spoiler alert for our feedback section. One of the D-padders is actually one of the ones that has
One of the
made
YouTube videos. All right.
these YouTube videos. But anyway,
Sweet.
but yeah, so you can go on. You can actually just go on YouTube and watch all the ways you can die.
Wow.
So,
Well,
and-
spoilers, that may be my recommended way to play this game. Okay, no, but seriously, what did you think about just in general, just playing this game?
Okay, so here's the thing. So me and probably people that have listened to all of our 100 and so episodes know that I'm not the adventure RPG type guy. Like it's just not my type of game. And it's not to say that I think they're bad games. I just if I'm gonna pick a game, I'm not gonna play the adventure RPG games because they're just I don't know, not for me. So this game was right in that adventure RPG game category. So it was kind of I had to try to keep an open mind. I tried to think of things that I really liked about this game, and there are things that I really liked about this game. I do like the combinations and things that you have to do and try to figure that out. And one thing like getting the old fish to get the bear to get away from the honey, so you can talk to the bees early in the game is one interesting thing.
There are some clever puzzles in this game. I'll agree
Right.
with that for sure.
And the ways that you die, the game has a sense of humor, which I really appreciate. So, all in all, I don't think that it was a bad experience, but try to, I'm not sure that I would have been in love with this game playing it when I was younger either.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that when I was younger and playing the other King's Quest, I just did not like it at all. And I'm afraid that my childhood memories of playing King's Quest, whatever number it was prior to this one, and not liking it at all, may have colored my vision for playing this game on the NES. Because I really do feel like this is a pretty good representation of a King's Quest game on the NES. I mean, sure, the PC version is probably better. I've never played the King's Quest 5 on the PC. I'm sure it's probably... I know it looks better and sounds better, but as far as playing, I don't really know. But I feel like this is a really accurate representation of King's Quest on the NES.
yeah.
I just, for some reason, I just can't get into it. I don't know why. And I feel bad about it, but I just...
For what it is, too, it's a well-designed game. I mean, for the game, it's a great game. There's so many aspects to it. There's so many things to do. The story is great. You can tell that this is something that was really spent a lot of time in.
A lot of text. Hope you like reading.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't have to read it, but then you won't know what to do.
Yeah. And then you show up, you're Graham, you show up, your castle's gone, right? And then there's this talking owl, and you're wondering, what did Graham eat while he was out in the woods?
Right.
But anyway, so the owl, one funny thing was the owl, Cedric, so he kind of follows you around to a lot of parts of the game. He doesn't come to some parts because he says it's too dangerous for him.
Right.
Which,
Or he won't go into the town because he's afraid people won't like a talking owl in town.
yeah, which is funny in its own right. But one of my first things that I knew that this game had a sense of humor was early in the game when Cedric's telling him that the castle's gone, but I'll take you to see this old wizard, and he says, I've got some old fairy dust here, just handy. Here, use this and we can fly away. And so they fly away. They go to Crispin, and he Graham falls in the water. And Crispin looks at him and is like, what, I don't even remember what he says, but he says kind of some smart alecky remark about him just being setting in the water. Which is odd because he's standing in the water at that point, making you think that the water right at the shore is shallow. But later in the game, if you were to walk into the water, you just die.
Yeah, you drown.
So.
And I love, I wish I would have wrote down some of the things that they say in the death scenes, but the death scenes are just so hilarious. And the way they look too, like when you walk up to the bear or something, and he just like mauls you, and then it says, "Let's try not to feed the animals, Graham," or something like that.
Yeah.
It's probably not wise to feed the animals or pet the animals or something like that.
Right.
It's funny,
Right.
but it's just I feel like I want people to experience that for themselves. So maybe this YouTube's the way to go, or if you want to play the game. But this sounds like this YouTube video of all the deaths, or a bunch of the deaths, is the way to go, because that's probably hands down my favorite part of the game, is all the deaths plus the funny commentary that goes along with it.
Right.
And I do realize that's a contradiction for me to say that, seeing as how I just got through saying that I prefer adventure games where you don't die, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
I do like when you first meet Crispin, and there's kind of a banter between him and Cedric, and but then Crispin's like, "I think I might have something to help you," and he goes over to his box and he's like, "Oh, here's an old piece of a white snake," and all I could think was, "Here I go again on my own."
That's what I was thinking too. The second, it'd be so awesome if they just played that song.
Like an 8-bit version of "Here I Go Again on My Own." Just all of a sudden starts
and
playing.
it would not have surprised me with the way the comedy in this game is. It would not have surprised me. All of a sudden, you just heard Whitesnake. This is like the Robin Hood Men in Tights of,
Yeah.
because you're even like a little guy with a little feather in his hat.
Right.
It's not that. It's not as funny as Robin Hood Men in Tights. No way, no how. But I'm just saying, the comedy in this game to me is just, it's clever. I don't know.
They definitely
It's kind of a serious game, but it's got these little moments of just humor that's pretty clever.
Yeah. So,
All right, so let me just so in general, I think we're on the consensus of saying this is a pretty quality representation of King's Quest. And if that's your style of game, then it just may be the kind of game for you. However, I do have some caveats I would like to get off my chest.
okay.
I did not like the controls. Other than walking around, which is pretty easy to do, I did not like the controls at all. It just, something about the D-pad and the moving the arrow around with the D-pad and then selecting the picture at the top to represent what you want to do. It just did not jive well with me. For some reason, I don't really know. I mean, I know I played Maniac Mansion and loved it, so I don't know why this game would bother me, but for some reason the controls in this one did. Let's see. I think we talk about some great moments, like the comedy in the game, and some of the puzzles are really great, but there's also some puzzles that are just really obscure that I just can't imagine I would have ever figured out if I had not have tried to look them up first. Really, to me, this game is just it's like a giant case of hit or miss for me. Because there were moments in this game, because I am a bit of an adventure game fan. I'm not as big of a fantasy fan, but I do like adventure games. So there were moments in this game I was like, wow, this is great. I love this game. And then there were other moments where I was like, I don't like this game at all. So it was just a big giant case of hit or miss for me.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much kind of the experience I had as well. In that there were things that I liked, but I felt that I was somewhat trying to convince myself that it was a good game.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I will say a couple of things that I did like about the game. I like the graphics. The graphics were really good.
See, for me, graphics were another case of hit or miss, because some of the graphics were awesome, and then some of them were just downright terrible to me. Some of them were so bad that it obscured what I was supposed to be doing, and that really bothered me. Because there's a lot of interaction with the background that you have to do in this game.
Sure.
And some of the graphics were so bad that I could not figure out how to interact with what was going on.
Okay.
Like
I can see.
even reading what to do, I still could not figure out how to make that work with the graphics. I mean, I did eventually, but it was not a simple one click pony. It's not a one click pony. That's not a thing. But no. But it was not it was not a one click thing because I couldn't really figure out what I was clicking on. Like there's one particular part early in the game. You go into the town and there's a coin on the ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's not really. You can't see it because there's nothing to see, but except for a little flash.
Yeah.
Of the graphics in that spot, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but I had the hardest time getting that pointer to click on that little spot or wherever this mysterious coin was supposed to be.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think for me, just the overall, the sprites are good, the backgrounds are good. That's kind of for me. It was overall.
Well, overall, I mean, they do look really. I think the backgrounds in the still image look really good. The sprites are nicely animated. They're pretty big. There's a lot of brown and a lot of green.
A
lot of brown. There's a lot of brown.
A lot of brown.
A lot of kind of a tannish brown. But there's some green. There's also some gray. A little bit of red.
Yeah. A lot of brown.
A lot of brown. There's a lot of brown in this game.
Right.
But anyway, no. In general, I'd say the graphics were, again, I got to go with that phrase, hit or miss for me.
All right.
But what about the music? Do you like the music and the sound?
I thought the music was pretty good. It didn't annoy me that bad. But the parts where you're just walking around town and you didn't have any music was kind of annoying to me. It was just too quiet. When games don't have anything, no background music, it's too quiet at that point.
But then there are times when there is music.
Yeah.
So are you saying it's hit or miss?
Unfortunately, I think I am. So.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. I feel kind of the same way as you. Nothing annoyed me, but I'm with you. It felt barren at times, which maybe that's what they were going for. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's not what I wanted for some reason. But the songs that were in it were pretty good. They weren't great, but they were pretty good. They matched. They were thematically. They were just what you need for this type of game.
Mm-hmm. I thought the music for Crispin was a little creepy.
Well, Crispin's a little creepy himself.
He is a creepy dude.
So
and during in the text box where it shows who's talking, is he wearing sunglasses?
I don't know.
I couldn't figure that out.
I just thought he just had giant shadows over his eyes or something.
Maybe, which is even creepier.
Yeah, it's creepy.
So.
I thought I was waiting for a big plot twist where he ends up being the big bad.
Ooh.
Which I didn't beat this game. Spoiler alert! I didn't beat this game, so maybe he does, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. You still end up fighting Murdoch or whatever his name is.
Mordak.
Sorry.
So
okay, yeah, sound, music, pretty good. You can turn it off, which is an interesting approach. You can go in the menu selection, just turn sound and music off.
That reminds me of another game that you can do that, which is so weird to play the game with no music. Tetris, you can do that.
Yeah, that is really weird to play Tetris without music.
And it's just it's the weirdest thing, just no music.
Yeah.
But
all right, so we've talked about the graphics, talked about the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the game just in general. But what we haven't talked about is whether or not it's worth it.
Right. So, like I alluded to earlier, this game's kind of a more expensive-ish game that we talked about. Really, on eBay, it goes for about $30. So, is it worth $30?
I'm going to say, for me personally, no, it is not.
Yeah. I'm going to go with no as well. Not to say that it's a bad game, but $30 for this game, for me, it's just too steep.
Yeah. It's tricky because I don't understand why it's $30. really.
I just wonder if they may have not made a whole lot
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
because
And maybe the Konami name spikes it up a little bit too.
yeah, people think it's Konami, so it's like it's got to be good, right? It's got to be. Maybe I didn't see like anything about it being limited release. It is late in the NES cycle, and it's a port from a PC game. So I think maybe those two things combined would maybe make you think
you're probably right.
it didn't get a whole lot of production. But I don't know. That's conjecture.
Yeah. Well, but that makes sense. So, I don't know, but it's hard for me to recommend this game at $30 with as many quality games for $30 and under, which by the time you're hearing this episode, you should have heard our pick from our games list where we picked games with money.
Right.
And this is a good time to mention it. The No Swear Gamer on YouTube. Everybody knows the No Swear Gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least if you don't, you should. He's good. He's quality, family-friendly fun there on the No Swear Gamer YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. But he made a good suggestion, and I don't know, we won't implement it on this show, but we may in a future episode. He thinks that we should, now that we have our lists, we should keep them as running lists and say whether or not we would drop a game off that list to fit whatever game we're talking about during the Is It Worth It section.
I like that idea. And no.
No, not on this one. But that means that we would have to find one or two games of equal value to say, hey, we're dropping these games to add this one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's a pretty good idea. The only problem is that might preclude us from doing another one of those money episodes.
Well, no, not necessarily, because if we develop, if we go through like 100 more episodes and then we want to do another one of those episodes, it wouldn't necessarily. We're just adding money when we add episodes.
Oh, that's true. We're adding money. So for now, we're still working off $118. Right. Then we'll have more money.
Right.
Got it. No. Okay. So we'll think about it. Listeners out there, let us know if you think that's a good idea. What the No Swear Gamer recommended. I think it's a good idea.
I do.
Sounds like Justin does too. So we could start this episode and say no to King's Quest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's a pretty good idea.
Poor King's Quest.
I feel bad for the guy. I also feel bad for Tyler.
Yeah.
Both the Tyler that donated to us on Patreon and the Tyler at Chili's that night. Not one and the same. I did ask him if it was the same guy. The Patreon Tyler is not the same Tyler from Chili's.
Yeah. Good. So.
All right. So, you got any retrofitted trophies? You want to go on another tangent? What are we doing here?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I could go on another tangent. Are you still running?
Yes. I've had like a little stomach virus the past couple of days. I talked to you about this the other day. I had a flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the flu shot kind of makes me feel a little crummy the next day. A little tired. That's it. That's usually about all I get. And I think it just was a coincidence, actually, this time. But I've had like a stomach virus on top of it, so I've not felt great. So I haven't actually ran since Thursday. I'm getting about 4 to 5 runs a week. I try to get 12.5 miles a week. Try to keep 50 a month. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I also got a flu shot.
Mm-hmm.
I have not felt bad, although I did pass out for the second half of the UT game, so maybe that had something to do with the flu shot.
Yeah.
Like I got really sleepy, and UT was doing so bad that I was like, no, it's not going to kill me to take a long nap.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that has something to do with it. Also, my shoulder has been really sore from where they shot me.
Yeah, that is a common complaint this year. Like
I don't know what that
extra
is.
sore this year.
Yeah, it's been really sore. It felt like I've been lifting weights or something.
Yeah.
But it's about better now. So I think I'm coming out of the flu shot. But yeah, I've been running. I ran today actually.
How much? What kind of distance you covering?
2.5 to 3 miles.
Okay.
Just depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Each time I run.
Yeah.
I can make it 3. But sometime, I don't know, it just depends on what pace I'm making, whether or not I stop at 2.5 or go 3. And how I do with the lap around my neighborhood. Like if I do the full lap 3 times, that's 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
If I do 2 laps, but I take the side streets, that's 2.5. So it just kind of, it's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. I've got a pretty good mapped out area here at my, around my house. It's 3.25 miles.
So my workout regimen right now is every 4 days I will do like some kind of lifting to work my whole body. I just lift things, you know what I mean? Just whatever I can find. No, I have like dumbbells or something. I just pile as much weight on the dumbbell as I can get, and I just lift it for about 20 minutes. I do that about twice a week, maybe once every 4 days, and then in between I'll do some running.
Yeah.
But I don't want to run so much that I lose all my muscle mass. I also don't want to lift so much that I'm in pain all the time.
Yeah. So
and now something. Go ahead.
So here, we talked about this. No, I don't remember if we talked about this on a Patreon episode or just a regular episode, but so excessive training can be bad for you, right?
Yeah.
And so they just did a recent study, like a Journal of Physiology or something like that. I don't remember what the journal was that it released, but they compared half marathon runners with marathon runners. And so what they did was they saw to look at kind of muscle breakdown and how well they performed, marathon, half marathon runners. So what they would do is after whatever they ran, they would have them do this jump test, and they would see how high they would jump off the ground. And then they would measure their blood for muscle breakdown enzymes like CPK and creatine kinase and stuff like that. And what they found is that the half marathoners were in just as good of shape. They performed better on the jump, which was you would expect.
That was going to be
right.
True no matter what, basically.
But they didn't really see much damage in the muscle as far as the enzymes.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they generally seem to be in the same amount of physical shape as the marathoners. The marathoners, they noticed, slowed significantly in the second 13.1 miles, which you expect. Their jump test, they jumped much lower after running the half marathon, but a steep increase in muscle breakdown following the 13.1 miles. So the point was the full marathon, you're not only are you not really getting any benefit health wise, you're actually just deteriorating your system when you're going that much of a distance.
But aren't you supposed to break down your muscles so that they build back up stronger or something like that? Isn't that how it works?
So to a point. So when you start talking about, and you will see this in people that exercise, people that lift weights particularly. If you draw their blood, they'll typically have muscle and breakdown enzymes at a higher rate than just somebody that doesn't. But there is excessiveness to it. And I think what they were saying was in the marathon runners, you would start to see this excessiveness in it.
I see.
And plus, once you get to a certain point of being in shape, then you shouldn't see as much muscle breakdown for an activity that you've trained for. So if you've trained for something like 13.1 miles, your body gets used to it, so it doesn't break down as much. It still breaks down every day, all day, and rebuilds. But
your body can't really get used to a full marathon.
Right, that's what they're saying.
Yeah,
it can never get really used to it. That you're still gonna have these excess amounts of breakdown.
Gotcha.
It's probably not good for you.
Well, I just like to mix it up, That's what I'm doing. I will say one other thing that I'm doing, and it makes me feel really old, but it helps.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking glucosamine because my joints have been hurting.
Yeah. Okay.
But it does help. And stretching. I never used to stretch when I was younger, but now I stretch all the time because things just hurt as you get older. I don't know why.
So here's the data on glucosamine. I can tell you.
I'm wasting my time.
Large randomized trials. So small trials showed that there was benefit. People felt better by taking glucosamine. Large randomized trials showed there was no benefit. So the general consensus is that it was probably more somewhat. Is there a true benefit? They don't really know. For me, if I hear somebody that says something that their joints hurts, I always tell them to take it because I don't think it can hurt. It can't hurt.
Hey, I will say that I feel like it's helping me, and it may be placebo, but I don't care because at least it feels like it's helping me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy that I don't like to take things. I take a multivitamin, and now I take glucosamine, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like to ingest things like that, really, for the most part. One, because I feel like most of the time it's just a waste of money. And two, I just don't want to put a bunch of weird stuff in my body. But I'm also not opposed to a real good placebo effect because I know it's real.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know how it works, but I know that if I think that it's working, then it probably is working, even if it's not actually doing anything.
So, another one that I would suggest that you add is fish oil. I'm a big believer in fish oil. So, fish oil that is a little iffy as well, but what we do know is that fish oils, and like olive oils, do have the omega-3 fatty acids, which produce anti-inflammatory, which are precursors for anti-inflammatories in our system. So and I think what we're learning about medicine in general, and we just learned about it in coronary artery disease with the CANTOS trial, but with a lot of our illnesses are basically because we live in a society where inflammation is excessive. And it comes down a lot about what we eat, but,
Oh, I know we're not getting everything we need in our diets. I know I'm not, at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. It's almost impossible to get everything you need in your diet. I don't know how anybody would ever have done it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. All right, I may take some fish oil. They always make my belches nasty, so...
Yeah.
At least for the first few hours after taking it.
It's one of the bad things about it. One more thing about vitamins. So know the only two things that have been shown to be effective to decrease the amount of flu rates in people.
Flu shots.
One is flu shots. The other is moderate intensity exercise for 30 minutes 5 times a week. That's the only two things that have been shown in studies to decrease the amount of flu rates. Not vitamin C. You can take as much vitamin C as you want. It ain't going to help you against the flu.
But I like vitamin C.
So you can save your money on the emergency stuff or the airborne stuff, all that stuff.
Zicam. I don't know what Zicam is.
So Zicam, I think, is zinc.
Zinc in it. Yeah, never mind. That's actually pretty helpful.
But zinc is helpful.
After you get
it, right?
Yeah.
So
I get those mixed up sometimes.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, anyways, I take my multivitamin. I'm happy with that because it makes me feel like I'm doing something important.
Yeah.
I break it in half. I take one in the morning, one in the night. It's a one a day, but I take half in the morning, half in the evening because I don't like all that at once. It makes my pee turn weird colors.
You don't like the yellow pee first thing?
I don't like neon pee. Yeah. And if I do it half and half, it doesn't turn neon. So
yeah.
I feel like that neon pee is just me. It's just like my money going down the drain. It's like all those vitamins my body doesn't need at the time. It's like, well, we're just going to get rid of this. And so I just see my money just going down the drain.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I split in half. All right, that's enough tangent. I got some trophies.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, the first one is there's one and only true God, and he's got nectar. And that is drink from the whatever the paradise in the desert that has only one tree. There's one that you can drink from that has a single tree. Drink from that one. There's only one true God, and he's got nectar.
All right.
That's one of mine.
My first one is the true king of this quest and that is not only beat the game but get all the maximum amount of points in the game. So there's two ways to actually beat the game. It's like you can actually beat the game as it is, but also get all the points that you could possibly get.
Which is basically do everything
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
It's like the platinum trophy for this game.
Well, it's like Super Mario 64, where you can beat the game and you
Or you
can
can
get
get all the stars.
Right.
Which, I hate to go off on another tangent. I'll make this one brief, but I'm super pumped because next week,
Super
Friday,
Mario
the new
Odyssey.
Mario comes out. It's going to be so good.
Man, I
It's
was
gonna be so
thinking
good.
that would be so great if we could like do an episode where me and you play that game. But this weekend's gonna be super busy for me, so I don't know how we work that out.
It's your birthday weekend.
I'm also traveling, but anyway, long story. Don't want to get on that tangent.
Okay.
But yeah, we got to work that out somehow.
Yeah, it's fun. Anytime. You can come over and play it anytime. Yeah. You don't have a Switch yet, do you? Yeah.
No.
Well, you can come over and play it anytime. It's 2-player. One person gets to be the hat or something. I don't know. I don't really understand what's going on, but it's
Weird.
2-player.
It's weird. Figure it out.
All right. I got another one is, well, actually, that one has a curse word in it. Why did I do that? Okay, I'll rephrase it. Well, it's not like a really bad one.
Yeah.
It's like I'll rephrase it. Don't make the innkeeper angry. And that is, funny, it's not really that hard to make the innkeeper angry. You just go in there. But
Yeah.
if you go into the inn and talk to the innkeeper, his hired help comes and bonks you on the head with a wrench or something. And he just locks you away in his cellar.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a good name for that trophy. It puts the lotion on its skin.
Getting thrown in the cellar. I
You
like
get
it.
thrown in the cellar by the innkeeper.
I like it. All right. My next one is once bitten, twice shy, and that is get bit by the snake. I think that's like the first way you can die.
Yeah,
I
because
get-
that's one of the first screens you go to in the game.
Yeah.
There's a snake, and the owl warns you. He says, "Don't go near that snake."
Yeah, and then you can get bit by the snake.
Yeah, and then you can get bit by the snake and die.
So yeah,
Okay, here my next one is, here I go again on my own, and that is get the white snake.
my next one is wait, this is deep, and that is drown after thinking you can just walk in the water.
Yeah, because that screen when you talk to the what's his name,
Crispin.
it's so deceiving because all that water there is shallow, and then basically all the water in the rest of the game is not. Everything else is you die. Okay, my next one is I guess we got a lot of trophies this one. My next one is the Second Amendment, and that is get killed by the bear.
The bear arms.
It's bear arms.
I'm out. I don't have any more actually.
Okay, then help me come up with this last one because there's one more. You can go when you go on the boat, the sailboat.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the Christopher Cross trophy, but you go out on the sailboat and you can get grabbed by a tentacle out of the water. I was wanting to come up with a trophy for that death.
Mm.
It's a super long trophy name, but it's the Christopher Cross. Use Christopher Cross to annoy a Crabman trophy.
Yeah. Sing that
Actually,
song while
Sing
getting
that song. While
Crab-
Crabman's trying to teach you about a different song, and he'll grab you with his tentacle because he's so mad.
All right.
All right, I thought about coming up with a lot more trophies because you can come up with trophies for basically every death in the game,
Yeah.
but I stopped there.
All right. How are we gonna rate this game?
I don't know.
About way of dying. Way to die.
That's too morbid.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Let's do type of pie. You want to do type of
I
pie?
like type of pie. Custard
Okay.
pie. I've never had custard pie.
Alright.
I'm gonna go with sweet potato pie.
Shut my mouth.
Sweet potato pie is not my favorite pie. I can
Oh
eat
my
it.
goodness, I love sweet potato pie so
I can
much.
eat it, but it's just not my favorite. Like it, and it's kind of like this game. Like I can play it, but it's just it's, if I had a choice, I'm not gonna go for sweet potato pie. So that's my.
What about sweet potato casserole?
Oh gosh, now that's a different story. I actually like sweet potato casserole better than I like sweet potato pie.
I like sweet potato casserole better than just about anything on this planet.
Yeah,
I love sweet potato casserole so
that's
much.
true. That's true.
All right. Anyways, I guess I want to go with chocolate pie because it's a good pie, okay? But it's never really made sense to me to put chocolate in a pie. Like to make a pie out of chocolate.
Yeah,
Just like how this game to me doesn't really make a lot of sense on the NES.
chocolate pie is pretty much just pudding in a pie crust.
Yeah, it doesn't make it's good when you eat
Yeah.
it, but it just doesn't make sense. Why would you put pudding in a pie? I'd much rather. So like this game just doesn't make a lot of sense on the NES to me. Now put this game on the computer, and it looks great. It plays great. You got a mouse, you got a clicker. It's like put chocolate in a bar in bar form, like a candy bar. It makes sense. It tastes good. I like it. Just like put this game on the computer. Makes sense. Plays good. I like it. I didn't, but I would. I promise.
Cool.
That's mine.
Like it.
Okay. All right. We got any feedback?
We got some Facebook feedback. So, Jeremy Sharp says, I have zero experience with this game, so I can't say anything about that. So let's look at the box art. That path and the castle built on that mountain is an engineering marvel. Also seems like a terrible idea. Just to get apples to the castle is a 7-day journey. And Gail Wilson said, won't run out of milk either. LOL. Cecil Dredge says, I've never played this title before. However, I do recall playing the earlier King's Quest titles on PC, and they were pretty good. Thumbs up. Douglas DeLucky Jr. says, it's freaking hard. Entertaining, though. Alan Taylor says, point and click. I didn't play long enough to decide whether it's good or bad. Timmy Mack says, enter an inn, hit in the back of the head, and left in the basement to die. What? This land is full of terrors.
Terrorists?
Terror. Tyler Jones says, finally, King's Quest V has come to 2 dudes. So psyched to hear what you think. I understand it's point and click and takes a little while to get into, but once you sink into the storyline and get used to the puzzle system, it's awesome. Great story, fair quality, great music and character development, and a lot of humor. I'd be happy to assist if needed. Thumbs up.
We should have had Tyler on the show. Is what
We should
have
have.
done. That would have been much better. He would have been able to gush about it. And oh well.
And then Aaron Vandermeer says, you two dudes have inspired me to try this game for the first time. Pretty fun style of game. It's a lot different than most NES games, but it has its own charm. I like the music a lot. I was playing this game while my 11-year-old daughter, Carly, was doing her homework, and after a while, she was humming along with the retro style Victor music. This game is definitely worth a play. Thanks, dudes. And Jeremy Sharp says, this game looks cool, but I really like to talk to you about Alien Syndrome. Sorry I had to poke fun of Gabe Bennington.
Sorry, Gabe. But that's funny.
Yeah. So, and then Aaron Vandermeer comes back and says, I made a YouTube video of some King Quest 5 ways to die. Haha. So, he's the
Nice. Go check out his video.
Yeah.
Then, because I'm going to go check it out because
Yeah.
the deaths in this game, like we talked about many times.
And he
some of the
actually
death
gives us a shout out in the description of the video. But thanks to Two Dudes in the Nest.
stuff. Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it for Facebook feedback, actually.
Okay, we do have a couple on our page. Andy Lewis says, I was a huge KQ fan on the computer. This one did not convert well. That is all. Andy is a big fan. He even like abbreviates it. KQ. He's a KQ fan.
Yeah, big KQ fan.
And then Greg Smith says, man, I spent many an hour playing that one. Love the Sierra Classics. Good.
Awesome.
All right, we got feedback on Google Plus. Can you guess who it is?
It's Ryan Ballard.
That's right. He says, I never knew this franchise came over to the NES. My only experience is on the PC, so I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Bonus. You want some bonus Ryan Ballard content?
I do. I always want bonus Ryan Ballard content.
Ryan sent us an email. He says, hi there, this is Ryan Ballard from Google+. With the news from Nintendo coming out this past week that they're ending the Wii Shop channel for Wii systems, I was wondering if you guys had a list of NES games on the Virtual Console that you'd recommend people snap up before they're gone. Is that something you guys might post or address in the podcast? Love the show. Thanks, Ryan. He sent that on October 4th. When is the Virtual Console closing, first of all? Do you know?
I don't know.
Second of all, I don't have a Wii U, and I never have owned a Wii U. Shocker to most folks out there, probably. But no, I never had a Wii. I had a Wii U, but this is only the Wii shop for Wii, I think. I don't think this is Wii U. I think Wii U's still going. But the Wii, the original Wii Virtual Console, is finally going to be closed. So I never had a Wii, so I don't even know what's on the Virtual Console, but you had a Wii, Justin. So
I'm confused at what's happening.
The Wii Virtual Console, where they sell you the old games,
Right.
is about to be shut down. So you can't buy games for the original Wii anymore. Virtual Console games.
Statement from Nintendo says Wii owners will be able to purchase content from the Wii Shop channel until January 30th, 2019.
Okay.
So there's some time.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is they have announced that there is an end to the Virtual Console on the Wii. So
Yeah.
in this year and a few months that we have, what would you recommend? What did you make sure when you got your Wii? What did you make sure to download? Just a couple games.
So I got all the Mario games.
Of course.
For sure. I'm trying to think.
The original Wii, like I said, I never had it, but the original Wii Virtual Console had a pretty deep library of games, did it not? I mean, there's a ton. So I guess my suggestion would be if any game that we've mentioned on this show that we recommend, I would look for it on there.
Yeah. Wow.
See if it's on there. It's probably cheaper than it is on the NES.
Definitely.
Because the Virtual Console is usually about, what, $5 for a game?
$5 for NES game, I think. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I got one more bit of feedback. This is a bit of an oddball. Okay.
Okay.
Remember the this is funny. This is probably, I don't even remember what episode this was the last time we talked about this, but we have an Android app. And it's still out there. And I actually just updated it to make sure it would still work. I didn't really change anything. I just updated to make sure it still work on the latest version of Android. But I also put a little comment under like the new features section that you always have to put.
Yeah.
I just put no new features to speak of, but if you're still using this app, we love you guys. Thanks for using the app or something like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got a review on it.
Sweet.
Fresh review. October 4th, a 5-star review on our app says an all-in-one app for one of my favorite podcasts with links to everything you need to enjoy and interact with the show. Thanks, guys.
Sweet.
So, it's still getting some love.
That's pretty awesome.
On the Two Dudes in an S app on Google Play. I think that's pretty cool.
If I ever go back to Android, I'm gonna buy it again, or I'm gonna get it.
It's free.
No, I know it's free, but yeah.
You don't have to buy it. I don't think there's ads in it or anything because we're not expecting to make money off this thing. If there are ads in it, then the only ads are because I used a free app creator.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So they may put ads in there to make their money back, but we didn't put any ads in there. So, anyways, thanks, dude, for the review on the Android app. I hope it still works works well.
Yeah.
The last time I checked, it worked, but I don't have an Android anything anymore
Right.
since I got rid of the touchpad. I used to use the HP touchpad to test it, but I don't even have it anymore, really. I mean, I have it, but I'm not logged into it or anything.
Right. It's still charged.
It probably is. It's just off, but once I turn it on, it'll probably have 93% battery left.
Right. All right. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, you can always find us, of course, on Facebook, and go to Google Plus, hang out with Ryan, and then
Now, I will
Twitter.
say, Ryan would love to have you hang out with him on Google Plus, but he seems very content there by himself.
Oh,
So
yeah.
If you don't want to hang out with him, I think he's fine.
Yeah,
I think he enjoys being the only guy on Google Plus. Actually,
I think he does too. It's his niche. It's his niece.
it's his niece.
Mm-hmm. Right. Twitter and all that. And you can always call us at
775-773-8761, or that number is 775-7-RETRO-1 if you have letters on your phone. And you can go on our website from a mobile device, and in one of the corners, I think it's the upper right corner, you can click on the phone, and it'll ask if you want to call us, and you can call us. And we're still waiting on a few calls on, was it pumpkin pie versus pecan pie?
Yeah.
Stephen Michael put that out there as a challenge to you people to let us know which one's your favorite. We got a lot of time till Thanksgiving, so you American Thanksgiving. I don't know when everybody else thanks people.
Yeah.
They probably just thank people all the time. They don't have to have a special day for it.
Yeah, America, we're only going to do that one day.
Yeah, one day a year we give thanks. The rest of it, we're total jerks.
Right.
But anyways, so let us know. And if you're out there and you like chocolate pie and you need to give your reasoning, I probably won't believe you or accept your reasoning. But if you got some good reason why chocolate pie's a good pie, let me know.
Yeah.
And tell Justin he's wrong for not liking sweet potato pie.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said not my favorite.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
You haven't said whether yours is pumpkin or pecan.
Oh, man. Put me on the spot.
Mine's pecan for sure.
I think mine's pumpkin. You gotta get a
We're
pumpkin.
so divisive on the show.
I know.
Well, okay. I might be able to win you over. Do you remember when we lived in Grand Forest, the little grocery store next door, or not the grocery, I guess it was the convenience store next door, had the little mini pecan pies? You remember how good those were?
Oh my gosh. Now that's a different story.
Okay. All right. Well, you just think about that. Come back to us next episode.
Yeah. All right.
That's it. We need to thank the Retro Junkies. We mentioned the No Swear Gamer earlier. He's a member of the Retro Junkies. He does his YouTube show, but there's a lot of other people that you can go on our website, retrojunkies.com, and find a lot of great shows. If you like our show, you'll probably like any of those shows on there because they're all in the same vein.
Right.
None of them as good as ours.
Right, sure.
Well, I'm just kidding.
They can't be there.
Most of them are better than ours, but don't let them know we said that. Don't tell them we sent you there or anything like that, especially the Justice Germs.
Yeah. Right.
Because nobody likes the Sega Justice.
That's right.
But go on there. Go check out the Retro Junkies. Also, thanks to the Wee Dude, a.k.a. the Wee Guy on YouTube, for putting in a ton of effort to create stereo-wide NES tracks of pretty much every NES game. He's amazing. And the Fox Dude for our logo, which is also pretty awesome, if I do say so myself.
Right. All right.
All right. I guess that's it. Here comes some music. I don't know what it is. It's probably Christopher Cross Sailing Away, though.
It should be.
All right. Bye.
Bye.